What's up, everybody? Okay, here are 5 reasons why you should play video games if you want to get rich. If you want to win the money game, it starts by playing video games. Now, okay, I get it. Like, that probably sounds a little counter to what you've heard before. People talking about video games are rotting your minds and it's a waste of time and what are you doing with yourself? But I would suggest that many of the benefits you can get from playing video games, from chronically playing video games and like taking it serious and being competitive with it, far outweigh many of the downsides. Now, here's the thing. Full disclosure, in a past life, I was a very competitive gamer. I played Halo, I played Destiny, I played StarCraft at very high levels. The problem for me is that I became addicted to the video games. And so when I talk about video games being a waste of time, and I have talked about this in other videos, it's through this lens that it's very easy to settle into a life of complacent mediocrity where all you do is focus on the video game. And that's everything that you do. And your entire self-worth is tied up into the progression of your character and the stats and how well you're performing in that game. The truth, though, is that the video game does not transfer over to real life. The accolades, the heroics inside the video game don't matter. They're the training ground. But the proving ground is real life. And so if you don't have the ability to separate yourself from the video game, to take the lessons, the skills that you develop there and apply it in real life, then you probably need to cut the video games out. Now, I cut video games out around probably around 30 years old, and I haven't played since because I get so easily addicted to it. However, my childhood, my youth, my adolescence, spending thousands of hours playing video games have served me incredibly well because it helped me develop these 5 skills. So the first skill is the skill of planning. Planning, the ability to sit down and plan out your character, plan out the course of action, the quest, the raid, and figure out, okay, what's the best way to tackle this? And then coming up with that sequence, that's incredibly powerful. And you see real-time feedback whether or not your plan is good or it's bad. You die, and then you go back to the beginning. You're like, that didn't work. Let me try again. And so you get rapid iteration in the planning sequence. And I think that's very valuable. Whereas in real life, a lot of times when we make a plan, it takes much longer for it to play out. And it's not so clear cut whether or not it worked exactly how we wanted. In a video game, very clear cut. I tried to make the jump at this point, and I tried to do this thing and it didn't work. Cool, that doesn't work. I need to do it differently, right? Second is problem solving. Video games are incredibly complex. Anybody trying to tell you that video games are for simpletons and simple-minded people, they don't get it. Like, these games are incredibly addictive because it taps into this need that we as humans have, which is for complexity, for novelty, and for problem solving. And this environment in this world where it's kind of contained and you still have a high degree of complexity to be able to solve problems, I think is another great way to develop that skill in a confined way where you can see in real time. And this is, again, one of the reasons I love video games is because you get the feedback loop instantly. It's one of the best ways to learn, right? To learn and to improve at a skill, we must first learn about the thing. We must then do the thing. Then we must iterate on the thing, right? We take the information that we're processing or that we used, we try to improve upon it so that next time we get a little bit better. That's the path of mastery, and video games are perfect for this. The third skill is the skill of collaboration. Now, this comes into play if you're playing like a multiplayer game where you have to rely on your team. I played Destiny for many, many years and for far too many hours. And one of my favorite functions was doing raids. You get together your buddies and you get together like 5 or 6. I can't remember how many people were in the raids, but like you get like 5 or 6 people together and it's highly coordinated about who's doing what at which precise moment. So you're planning, you're problem solving, and you're having to collaborate and learn how to work with and through other people. So people who think that like video gamers are actually like toxic and antisocial, I never got that. Like, some of my deepest, most impactful relationships were made through video games, in fact. So number 4, your processing speed will increase as a function of playing video games. Now, you can increase your processing speed in all sorts of ways, but I find that video games is one of the most enjoyable ways to do it because you are typically rewarded instantaneously for the speed in which you make decisions. And I can't think of a better, again, training ground for this most applicable skill in the rest of your life. And the last skill that you will get from video games is dexterity. The ability to coordinate your fingers, your hands, to your eyes, to your brain, to navigate a 3-dimensional or 2-dimensional world. This has been shown in studies that brain surgeons who play video games, not just a little bit, but like play hardcore video games, they're like 40% better Their dexterity, their manipulation of tools is 40% better. Their outcomes for their patients is drastically improved as a result. So if you're a little uncoordinated, if your brain, your fingers, and your spatial processing isn't where you want it to be, go play a video game. So all these skills are, again, like, if you just while away your life playing video games and you don't actually go out into the real world and apply what you're doing into like a meaningful, truly meaningful endeavor, because again, video games are great, but they're not truly meaningful in the grand scheme of things. But going and doing things in the real world that actually improve people's lives or improve your own life, if you can take these 5 skills and do just that, you're going to be so much further ahead than your compatriots who only ever sit on the game playing video games, or your compatriots who are like, poo-poo, I have no time for video games because I am too cool for school, sitting over here watching Netflix. So go pick up the controller, go pwn some noobs, and then go get your bag. I'll see you guys in the next episode.